read that book because you know we about to do this little summary or something on it. Because you know we gotta do it for this grade, you know, because I'm barely passing in my classes anyway. But anyway, so this book was on Jacqueline Hyde, and so you know it started off with this little bougie, little respected little lawyer walking through the streets of London with his little homeboy, little Richard. What's that word? I ain't feel. Yeah, they were taking little walks through London or whatever, and on that Sunday they seen this little creepy little house, and they just walking past like, why is the door so different from everybody else? Why he gotta be different? And then they're like, his shit's so ugly and everything. Like what? Like, man. So the door reminded him of like a previous incident he looked. Reminded Einfeld the previous incident where he had yeah. So the door reminded him of an incident where he had seen this little young girl get trampled over by this big ass man. Like he was big and he was just walking through. He was all creepy and everything. He like, why he trampling over people like that? Who he think he is? He just coming over here just walking over people and everything. And he new to the hood too, so like he didn't know like people were busting cap in this. He didn't know at first, but he did know. He didn't really care, but he seen a little girl and he just walking through the streets, just knocked her ass down, and everybody just came through and just was circling him like, oh my God, you ain't even cared about that girl. She was all on the floor crying and everything, and so he didn't care at all. So basically the dude's name was Edward Hyde, and with a face like that, he should have been hiding. Honestly, he shouldn't have walked out the house like that because he looked uglier than Goodson on her good days. All that good, man. Ugh, I can't even. She make my stomach hurt. Okay, pause. So yeah, the crowd faced him and just huddled all around him. They all like, why you run over that girl? Now you gotta pay, and they literally made that man pay. So he gonna go in there. He went into his house, which was that strange ass door that we was talking about, the little ugly one. And he went in there, he came back out with 90 bands and a check signed by somebody else. Now, like, everybody know something was up. I thought something was up because, you know, when you in the hood, everybody be scamming. You know, that's how you live. We live on the rough side, and I ain't eating no ramen noodles no more because I be scamming too. That's something else. Come out the house, and the check was valid, and it was signed by Dr. Henry freaking Jekyll. Somebody else, not Edward Hyde. It was Henry Jekyll. Not Hyde, Jekyll. Hyde, Jekyll. Jekyll, Hyde. Hyde, Jekyll. Jekyll, Hyde. One of them. So yeah, so he come back out. Can you sit down? Dang. So yeah, back to the. So the check was valid. So Udderson was all shocked and stuff, like why his ugly self got all this money and everything, and why is it signed by Jekyll? And so he was just thinking like, something ain't right. Why would he leave all his money and all this different stuff to him, this ugly thing? And you know, he was like, he uglier than the mug. Like, why is he leaving his stuff with him? So yeah, so he wanted to talk to Hyde, and he go off and talking to him, and you know, so before he go and talking to him or whatever, he go hiding outside his house. And, you know, that's grounds for fighting, but because you don't just, you know, you might have been ready to shoot him again, you know, whatever. So yeah, he go outside and he hiding outside his house trying to talk to him or whatever, but Hyde ain't having that junk. He like, why you outside my door? Why you outside my door, man? And he go back inside the house, and Henry. So yeah, Udderson go and walk around the block to his homeboy Jekyll house, and he opened the door to his little butler pool, and he say that Edward Hyde got all the access to all his stuff, including his house or whatever. So Udderson all like, what? Why this fool give all his stuff away, and where he at or whatever? So he go on and he be Yeah, he Jekyll said that he wanted all his wishes to be honored because he wanted Hyde to have all his stuff, and he didn't want nobody going bothering, snooping, and all this good stuff. But Utterson, old nosy ass, wanted to go and just find out some stuff. So, about a year later, Hyde go on. Year later, so it was this little vicious murder. Like somebody was stabbed and shanked up and everything. And guess who did it? You ain't gonna guess. You ain't gonna believe who did it. Guess who? It was Hyde. Hyde ass had killed all this little waitress or something like that. And so Utterson go with the popo over to Hyde's crib and was all like, and the housekeeper going to open the house going to open the door up or whatever, and she was like, that nigga ain't here. Why you here? And I ain't about to talk to the popo. I don't talk to the popo, but he ain't here, so you can leave or whatever.
One.
So in all his papers and stuff, the envelope was addressed to Utterson. And see, I can't look at the camera. If I look stupid. So as you know, Hyde dips because everybody just want to run from the popo. You don't want to be caught by the popo at all because you going to some stone cold time like Fuller, especially since he murdered that girl. So Hyde goes on hiding, and then Jekyll, he comes back, and so they meet up with their friend. I don't know what his name was. I think it was Canyon or Lanyon. It was Lanyon, and they meet up with their friend Lanyon, and he looked like he about to die. So everybody thought he was on that stuff too because he was getting all skinny and everything. And I think he was about to die. He was basically dead. Cut it. So Lanyon ended up dying or whatever. He kicked the bucket like a goldfish and everything, and then he left some papers. And nosy old freaking Utterson want to go through all the papers, and he noticed that the envelope with the papers and all the stuff, they had Jekyll's stuff in it, and Utterson just knew it was about Hyde. Yep, it was about Hyde. They could cut it. So yeah, so in that envelope, it was all Jekyll's will and leaving it all his little good stuff to little Hyde or whatever. So a few weeks later, on another one of the little sissy walks, they see Jekyll in his little laboratory window and everything. So they like, hey fool, come out and walk with us. Come out and walk. But no, Jekyll was all like, no, he was like, like going all psychoballistic and crazy and everything. He was like looking like, and everybody like, ugh, what's wrong with him? So a few weeks later, they go on and they go around the corner, and Jekyll's servant boy, I think his name was Pool. His name was Pool, and he come to the door and he all like, yeah, I think something wrong with my employer and everything. He been sitting in his office all this time and he ain't coming out. He want all his meals to be delivered to him and all this good stuff. Something wrong. So y'all should go in there and see what's going on. So yeah, basically that was all. I think
Utterson is so utterly convinced that he goes back to Jekyll's house with Poole and breaks into Jekyll's laboratory. There they find a man who's committed suicide by drinking a bottle of poison. They find the man on the ground. That man is Edward Hyde. They search the laboratory hoping to find a trace of Jekyll, but find nothing but a letter addressed to Utterson. This letter instructs Utterson to read Lanyon's letter before reading his. Lanyon's letter, when Utterson goes back to his house and reads Lanyon's letter details that that Jekyll had been, the misbegotten creature, Hyde, had been basically taking items to him while asking for a graduated glass when he was at Lanyon's. He then mixed together the potion that he had been already taking. That potion had turned Edward Hyde right in front of Lanyon into Jekyll. This sent Lanyon into shock, because Lanyon could not believe that the man in front of him was the same person that had been this weird, ugly creature. When this had happened, it caused Lanyon to go into shock, which he would die 3 weeks later. After this event, after reading this letter, Utterson went ahead and read Jekyll's letter. Jekyll's letter details the fact that he had been living a double life. He wanted to know if man had two sides to him, a good and an evil. because he knew that within Victorian society there was no way he could do shameful acts without being caught and his reputation ruined. So he decided to concoct an experiment to see if it was possible to get that other half of man out, the evil. So he crafted the potion that he would use to become Hyde. Once he had made the potion and drank it, he started to become the ugly, grotesque creature that was Hyde. And when he became Hyde, he was able to do all the shameful acts he couldn't do as a man living in Victorian times. Because of this, he felt he had to protect Hyde. So he had made him house in Soho with the unscrupulous key maid and basically said, alright, here, I can be myself in this evil hat. But after so long of these shameful acts, and then came the murder of Sir Danvers Cross, that it led to Jackal looking at Hyde and saying, this has to stop. So Jackal tries to find a way to put Hyde down by making a new potion, the potion again, to help him turn back into Jackal. But even though this did happen, and he had dinner parties and hung out with his friends, it then went back into the seclusion. Because he had found out after all that Hyde's identity was Hyde, his evil half, that kept trying to get back out. And it's because of this that Hyde had came back and took over. And Jackal then also realized that he could not get the same purity of that potion. So he kept sending Poole around hoping to get that drug, and then also hoping Lanya get up. But in the end, no one could really help Jackal. So in the end, the Utterson figures out that Jackal had already been Hyde. And because of that, Hyde occupied Jackal's nature, and that drug no longer being effective, searched throughout London that he had to commit suicide to rid himself of all of it. And that's the moment that Utterson and Poole were breaking down that door to find the dead body of Hyde.
One apparent theme that occurred in Stevenson's novella was the duality of man's nature, which means that man is not only capable of great good, but he is also capable of a great and terrible evil. So for every happy face, there may also be just one evil dark side to that man.